On today's Minute of the Apes, I look across the table and Todd has these sweet headphones on, and I'm like, DJ Todd, drop the beats!
They greenlit the sequel without a story in mind. They just wanted to equal an unexpected gold mine. He said, oh no, as Heston said, I got to go. These are just some of the facts you ought to know as we go. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead human.
Hello and welcome to the Friday edition of Minute of the Apes, the podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I am Todd. As always, I've got Richard and Sean. Happy Friday, Richard and Sean.
Hello.
We're like, I think, a week and a half away from halfway done with this now at this point.
And you know, I'm going to throw this out. So what we've done, we talk about that we do these usually 5 minutes at a time. We actually on this Sunday did 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
In 1 day. It feels like I have spent the better part of 2 weeks with you.
You know why? You spent the better part of 2 weeks with us. That's why.
All right, so we are at minute 40. We are entering into another lovely chase scene. Sean, tell us what's going on.
All right, we're going to start with minute 40 with Brent going for his own horse and ends with Brent and Nova trying to escape under some trees.
Here we go with minute 40. Let's take a listen.
All right, it's minute 40. We still have 3 living humans, 4 dead humans, 1 dead ape, a shoeness of apes, and a gaggle of humans.
You know, I was thinking as you did your count, we're going to change that. I will give you the
At some
tease.
point.
Something comes along that I think you can
increase it somehow
you can
or
change
decrease
it.
it.
I won't
one
say
way or the
how,
other.
but something happens.
All right. Well, hey, by the way, we're back into travel shots now. Yay! Welcome to Planet of the Apes.
We have some question about whether Nova knows how to ride a horse. This is the first moment she actually knows how to ride a horse because she
no, we knew before because she literally the first.
No, but she really has no saddle on.
Oh, you're saying
and
bareback.
They are riding the out of town.
Well, I was going to say, riding a horse and slowly trotting is entirely different than bearing down on a gallop.
And holding the horse's mane and riding.
All right, if you're saying full out, yeah, she knows how to
even
ride a
full
horse.
out riding
even
the horse.
in the shot
Bareback,
position.
yeah.
So the shot that pulls when he's unharnessed the horses and they first ride away, is that at the beginning of this minute?
The minute is him getting on the horse.
Get a horse.
She's already on the horse.
Yeah.
That shot alone is impressive with how she immediately hops and the horse goes. She knows how to command that. So they each got them. This goes back into the whole idea of why are they doing it, especially because we end up going into the same grassy plain.
And
just
guess what?
generic.
Getting
It's
chased
just so
again.
generic again.
I mean, there's no difference between this minute being on horseback versus the minute where they were running on this hillside.
Except that we've got the weird Norman Bates, Jason Voorhees of gorillas who's standing there with this plaintive look.
What the shit was that? I have in my notes, what in the blue with that shot of the grill in the tree, he looked like he was stoned or something. He's just staring out going, oh, not saying, hey people, they're humans, not even saying, oh my God, what's going on? He's just going, oh my God, that weed hit me so hard.
All right. So they get a very fast gallop. They ride from right to left across the screen of a generic field. Then as we pan with them moving, we then get this moment of a gorilla soldier kind of in between a tree, around a tree. He is not visually staring in
At
their
them,
eye
yeah,
plane.
in their
he is
direction.
staring off in the distance. He does react towards the end of that moment by slightly turning his head to the left as if he's been tracking them this entire time. It's just shot so poorly that it doesn't look like he was ever looking at them. He looked like he was stoned, staring off in the distance. They also didn't help by having this gorilla's ape mask agape.
Bad, so bad.
Yeah.
His mouth was agape.
It
when
felt
he
like
at
he
them.
was chewing his lower jaw.
Well,
somehow.
I'm pretty sure he's a prosthetic.
Yeah,
If
oh,
you
yeah.
look, it's a nice mask, but you're right. He's just got this.
It's a really, really dumb ape look.
He is on shrooms
So
or something. Yeah.
I am challenging our listeners. I want to have some fun with this, and please go out and I want you to hashtag us. I want you to do whatever. Tag us directly. I don't care. I want to see people take this guy and I want to juxtapose him with another shot. What other things could he be looking at? Could he be looking at Bambi? What I actually thought of, there's a famous shot in The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman and Catherine Ross where he's looking at her, and he could be cutting at the three of them.
They're looking at each other.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't belong here.
You want? We've got Planet of the Apes Ursus. We got Planet of the Apes something else coming out. Hopefully new. You want Planet of the Apes Stoned Ape?
Yeah.
What, 6 issues of what the shit am I looking at?
So anybody that's out there, go do it, post it somewhere, and tag us on it because I love this moment. That we've got something. We can make a statement about bad filmmaking.
So his mouth moves agape a little bit. He starts to look to his left to kind of indicate that he's tracking them. And then we get another scene of Nova and Brent riding from right to left across the field. And then magically there's other apes getting onto horses to pursue them. It needed that horn again.
Because
It needs a
it
horn.
needed that alert.
he didn't give them any indication
No.
that humans were coming. They just all of a sudden run off.
Why doesn't he have ape binoculars? So we've had ape guns that have ones.
binoculars would have let us know that he was scoping out a field.
His job is to survey. He's looking. He then, you don't even have to repeat the horn. We've had Jerry Goldsmith, and I know he's not composing this, but we've had all his percussive stuff. He could be looking, and it could.
Or hell, it could have just been an ape on a horse.
Anything.
Watching that way.
I know that we're talking about budget issues here, but had he been up on some type of visual turret where you could see the field, this would have made a lot more sense. He's just kind of
Like a hunting
sandwiched between
stand or something,
trees.
yeah.
And even if he'd been in a turret and saw them, I would understand why the horses below were moving.
He's not stoned. I know what he's doing right now. He's standing there peeing. He's going, oh my God.
Actually,
and then
yeah.
they run
It
by.
does
He's going,
look like that.
And it's a whole scene just like, oh, and then it's going to be. The shot the story should be he's peeing there. The humans ran by, and I don't know what happens after this. The apes chase him off. And he's just,
I know.
and he turns around. Wait, where'd everybody go?
I know what my cut of the ape guy is going to be. Is I'm going to cut him, and then it's going to be Mel Brooks as the piss boy. And it's good to be the king.
Yes.
That's what it is. You just go, oh my gosh, I feel so good now.
So his
Humans.
his random moment of looking to the side, them riding from right to left, and then from there appears to be about 10-ish sudden gorillas
get out of
getting on
camp,
horses
yeah.
that then start moving from left to right, apparently in pursuit of Nova and Brent. We get this. I swear it was the same shot of them riding across the same
That
field.
same shot of
It's
going
just
across,
To
yeah.
repeat it's just a
It
repeat
feels like
shot.
It's a repeat. I went and looked. It's even some of the framing of the earlier stuff. So that tree that he looks through has a V to it, and I tried to study. It has a little broken off limb right here.
Right.
There's another shot later on. In fact, I think it may end the shot where the apes are riding towards it and shot through a V. And I tried to see if they were so lazy that they simply did a reverse of it. Now it does have a broken notch, but it looks a little different. So they may even try to file it down. Everything about this is lazy. It is the same shot.
Is it supposed to, I mean, not physically, but is it the same hill that they were running physically?
It looks like
yeah.
it. It's the same pitch of the hill.
Same angle to it and everything. Yeah.
So you could do anything. Why does it have to be somebody in a tree? Why couldn't you're shooting this in the Utah
why don't
desert?
they give gorillas binoculars? I
Well,
don't
okay,
know.
put him up on the ledge of a hill, and
Yeah.
he's looking down on a valley. All you have to do is get 2 shots for that. Upward shot of him looking,
And
downward
the
shot
from
of
where
them
he was
riding,
looking, yeah.
and then he could look
And
over
the
the side
upward
and go.
shot can be anywhere.
He could even not. He don't even have to put the sound of the horn in. You could just have him notch his head then turn and ride.
Or even just like look at somebody and point, and then horses ride
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
So the guerrilla soldiers all get on the horses. They go from right to the left screen. We get the repeat shot of Brent and Nova going right to left.
Yeah.
and we're now in pursuit of the guerrilla soldiers, following them from also right to left. It just made no sense for them to move from left to right to suddenly go to pursuit from right to left. We do get kind of a nice shot of actually Brent outdoors riding a horse, as opposed to being kind of contained by a studio where Franciscus is definitely doing this stunt riding outside at a quick pace on the horse. And he glances back at the soldiers, and this is kind of the first moment that we get the sense that the soldiers actually have a rifle with them as well, that they're about to fire upon Brent, kind of making the scene a little bit more intense.
Which, it makes it intense because we know there's a threat of being shot, but I also thought, how much of a bitch must it be to be an ape on the back of a horse trying to shoot a moving target that is completely ahead of you?
Yeah.
You're not going to hit that.
Now, granted, it was
And
probably...
also, you're wearing an ape mask and you've got makeup on your eyes.
Now, granted, it was probably the technology at the time with what they could do with camera work, but yes, we never really got a sense or a tight on the gorilla pulling the rifle up. He's just kind of holding it, jostling off to the side, and you kind of have to notice that he's actually bringing a rifle into this moment.
But how? Okay. Here's how you shoot this. 2 shots. Give me a low angle shot of an ape. You cut it in. We've seen all the apes riding. We've seen him. Actually, 3. I need to see him pulling the gun out.
Right.
Wait.
And then,
you told me 2 shots. Now you're going to 3.
Suck it. He pulls the gun out, and then go to a low angle as he rides his horse towards the camera and pulls the horse to a stop. Go over his shoulder,
Aims,
and
and
he
then
aims, and we see him aim, bam! That makes sense. There's tension to that because the character has purpose, and he needs aim. That I don't even notice. I hear the gunshot, and I had to look in that shot and say, which one of them have a rifle?
Right. It kind of came out of nowhere. So then we ride past a tree. Again, going right to left, we've got kind of Brent and Nova rounding this corner, passing a tree to establish that the camera's in one location. We've got the soldiers coming around the corner with them. There's that notch in the tree. You've got the same V with them kind of staring.
It feels
at
like
this moment.
the same exact tree.
The one of the final shots is Brent and Nova kind of coming between the V of the tree.
And then the gorillas kind of ride in that same vantage point, but they're so far behind them.
No, it would have
Right.
been hilarious if then you saw that same ape for the beginning of the minute, just open mouth, turning, going, whoa.
I have a feeling if anybody actually takes me up on my challenge, they're going to actually go to the whole film and just cut into the middle
Him
of it.
everywhere.
Every time anything happens, it's like, what? He's on.
No, it'll be the end of Planet of the Apes, where he's like, God damn it, you blew out of hell. And then the ape going, oh, what?
It's such a bad show. So, to wrap up my whole thing about that, these 10 minutes
You're
were...
going to see that ape at the end of the Usual Suspects when Kaiser Sose is walking away. You just see the ape go, oh.
Sean is never going to be the same again.
You're going to see Darth Vader going, no, I am your father. Oh.
So, these 10 minutes... This is the same chase scene repeated.
Oh my
what is that?
gosh.
3 times?
This is the 4th time, I think. I don't know how many times. It's a lot.
How many times
It's
does he
a
have to
lot.
escape from apes? Yes.
It's a lot.
He runs away a whole lot.
We've gotten to a 10-minute cycle of there's no new story information. That's where this film falls apart. Is this? They
keep repeating.
There's no jeopardy. There's no. The story will eventually get out of this endless cycle of chase scenes. And when we get there, it almost feels like a relief because I'm like, I don't give a shit anymore. Is this film almost over?
Yeah.
That's where films go wrong. When you don't give me new information that keeps me excited about the story.
It's
and suddenly,
moving and moving and moving and moving
Right.
and moving. And I'm like, I don't know what... It's unnecessary.
This one, it just feels like it's another excuse to put them in the same location and do the same thing again. Somebody after you have fun playing around with Sean's gorilla, go out and recut the film and show me that it could work.
I hope, us complaining about the last 2 weeks of chase scenes doesn't deter people because we're really about to get in some stuff that Sean doesn't know anything about.
No, it gets interesting.
So this was just kind of a monotony of action sequence after action sequence after action sequence that had stops like going into the pens and going into the science facility and going into the back of the wagon that just didn't need to be there.
But to that point, Richard, this is not a bad movie. when you get down to what Sean's about to get.
Right.
There's a lot of
Agreed.
stuff that's like, oh, hey, if somebody would just paid
Right.
attention to
Right.
these points and maybe massaged a little bit of this down here,
Right.
you might have had a movie that it's not going to top the original, but it would have been